My life story? Your life story. My life story. Your life story first? Ladies first. Am I first?
Are you a lady?
Me or you?
You, me. You. You.
Go.
Okay. So. I was born and raised in England, a little town just south of London, and I started off, I knew I wanted to perform. I tried acting, and I went to drama school. I did that for 2 years, and there wasn't something there that fitted right, and I really loved comedy. I really wanted to go more into that. So I joined a course called the Academy of Circus Arts. Now, the Academy of Circus Arts toured around the UK, and we trained during the day, performed in the evening. And from that, I learned to do a whole bunch of different circus skills, but then I started to learn how to do comedy and clowning. From that, I graduated and joined Zippo Circus in England. We toured around the UK, and that's where I met Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and the Big Apple Circus stopped 3 blocks from my house from the first time they set up in Brooklyn, New York. And I was one of those kids. I was a poor kid in Brooklyn, and I actually couldn't afford to go to the circus. Time went by, got out of high school, and I became a commercial artist, doing spot ads and storyboards, things of that nature. But I really wanted to draw for children. I came up with all of these comic book and children's storybook ideas, and one of them was the remarkable Ronaldo. He was a circus clown. And it got to a point that I didn't want to draw for the companies anymore. I wanted to draw for me. And I wanted to work on the Ronaldo storybook. And I said to myself, I know what I'll do. I'll join the circus. I'll become a veteran circus clown, and I'll be the first person to write and illustrate their own clown stories. And I went to the circus and I said, can I be a clown? And they said, you could be an usher. And that's how I started in the circus. I grew to love the circus for the one really, really important thing when it came to me. The one really important thing being that it was based on ability. If you were able to do something, the circus will have you do it. And there is a place for everyone in the circus. I grew and I gravitated towards clowning. I loved doing it, and I loved the idea of making Ronaldo real. I toured with Big Apple Circus for 8 years, starting at the very bottom and then working my way into being a stunt clown, and then after that doing sight gags and what have you, and learning from the best in the world. Some of the best performers in the world performed at Big Apple Circus, and it was the best school for me. It was the best school in the world to see how someone styles to the crowd, how they project, how they draw people in. All of those kinds of things that would take going to all kinds of different schools, I learned in this one place. And I take with me everywhere I go around the world, I take with me everything that I learned in that one place. And one place it took me was Zippo Circus in England, and that's where I met Lou.
So we stayed with Zippos for a while, then we came back to New York. We were teaching with a company called National Circus Project.
National Circus Project is a company based out of Long Island that gets circus professionals from all around the world come to this company to teach circus in schools. 2 performers will go into a school, do a performance, then teach the children all week, and then they in turn will put on a performance for the entire school. It's one of the most fulfilling things an instructor can have, which is to impart what it is that they're capable of doing to a child, and then have them understand it and learn from it.
One of the things that I love is that it's an all-inclusive program, and we have We go in and we take every kid in the grade, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, no matter what disabilities they may have. Everybody is part of the circus, and we always find that one thing for them. And that truly is what circus is all about. And that's what clowning is all about. Clowning is about involving everybody and just bringing joy, happiness, laughter to everyone. And that's what we always want to do. So
the greater understanding of the fact that no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, everyone laughs. Again, I learned from watching the best in the world. The application process is quite simple. You start off with the lightest color and work your way into the darker colors, just like with watercolor painting. And that you have to set it, and different ways and different techniques that people have. Again, my favorite is to put powder in a sock, put a knot in it, and just a bang. It always brings a smile to my face, just hitting myself in the face with a makeup sock.
Mm-hmm. For me, my teacher actually did my original clown makeup for me. And then just throughout the years, I changed how I applied it. I found what was easiest for me and what worked in different venues, because going into the schools, I can't do so much of the white. It's too striking. So when you have a kid face to face, you have to make sure that you are, personable, that kids can see that you're a real person and you are not a scary character. So you do tone down the makeup, for different venues, different ages. So it's about experimenting and finding what works for you. What might be the exact right technique to apply something might not work for you. So you find a way that you make it fit to what you need.
Yeah.
I'm very, very lucky. Both my parents, when I originally said, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about joining the circus. First thing they said was, how can we help? They couldn't do more to help me, to help us, to help everything that we want to do. They're there for support, encouragement, and I'm very lucky that my parents believe in us, believe in what we do as well. That's the thing as well. That's the key. They believe in what we do. My father loves entertaining. My father is a great singer, a great actor, and I think if he joined us, I think he would have a great career.
Yeah, if he wasn't a great architect, because he is a great architect. He's retired now, but he's a great architect. If he wasn't an architect, he'd probably be a clown too. The family's a little bit different. My family loves what I do. A little hard on the supportive side because they didn't know how to. It was a little bit different. My father, at the time, his best position as far as supporting is, hey, you always have a job with me in case this clowning thing doesn't work out. So he was a cab driver. And so I always knew that I could always fall back on being a cab driver if the clowning thing didn't work. That was about 30 years ago. My mom really loved the idea that I was going to be a clown. I said, Mom, I'm going to be a clown in the circus. She said, promise me, if you're going to be in the circus, don't work in the street. Always be appropriate. She always wanted me not to intrude on other people. That every time I was going to do what I was doing, it was that I was meant to be there. And I told her, yes, it's going to be in a circus, in a tent. And the tent goes from city to city, from town to town. And she goes, all right, that's fine with me. So long as you don't become an imposition on people. As long as you do things in the right way. I said, yeah, I'm going to be a clown. And she goes, yeah, that's really great, because there's a lot of sadness in the world and you can bring joy. There's a lot of hate and you can bring love. There's a lot of division amongst people, and laughter can bring them together. There's a lot of really funny things that have happened to me, but the one thing that always sticks out with me is I was touring with the Garden Brothers Circus in Canada. I would go out and do this little bit routine with the music Who Let the Dogs Out play back when it just hit its popularity. And just as I started to do it, there's a dog, a little poodle that was trained to jump at me, to come after me. And it was trained to grab me by the leg, by the pant leg. It would never get me. I'm supposed to run away from it, jump over the ring curb and run away, and then they would start the dog act. Well, this dog was trained. Once you see Ronaldo, you're supposed to run after him. And this one day I was in the hallway waiting to go on, and the dog trainer brought her dogs into the hallway too early. And sure enough, that dog saw me and said, "That's the guy," and just leapt into the air and got my pant leg and tore my pants just before I was supposed to go out. And then it had the piece of my pant leg in its mouth, and it trotted over to the trainer and put it down and go, "Where's my treat?" And so she had to give him the treat because he did the trick. He did what he was trained to do. And I had to run into the dressing room and change pants before I had to go out.
One of the funniest things I saw was just, I think a couple of months ago, watching my husband in the ring. He does an opening act that, pre-show, before the show starts, he goes out there with a hat. And the idea is he throws the hat into the audience, and the audience throws the hat and tries to land it on his head. And a guy got it into his head. He said, "I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go into the circus ring and put the hat on his head." And so I see this guy start to walk towards the ring curb, and I start to panic. And I think, what's he going to do? He then jumps over the barrier into the circus ring. And now I'm really panicking. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to run in there. I don't know whether... The whole time, he's just standing there still. Doesn't move. Doesn't do anything. And I'm thinking, why isn't he doing something? Do something. What are you doing? Tell him to stop. And just when he's about 3 feet away from him, Ronaldo turns and runs. Now this guy is running after him, and they end up running around the circus ring with the guy chasing him with the hat, trying to put the hat on the head, and that was it. I think I was gone for about 10 minutes. I couldn't stop laughing. It was just fun, and everyone had a great time.
I really think we share a great love for what we do, and we have a work ethic that is, that we share pretty much the same type of work ethic. And I think that helps. The compatibility is there through and through. And I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
It's true.